Hello and welcome to today's session. I hope you're all doing amazingly well from whichever part of the world you are watching or listening. Today, I'd like to talk about how to turn your boutique hotel or wellness retreat into a lucrative yet responsible wellness destination. So today I'm speaking to those social entrepreneurs who want to create a boutique hospitality product with a very strong wellness focus. Now, you get wellness, you believe in wellness, and you practice wellness in your day to day. You want the well-being of everyone around you. You want to enhance the well-being of your community, of your people, of your guests, of your environment, the whole economics around you. You believe in doing things better than they've always been done. You believe in regenerating what has been destroyed. And you are determined that whatever you're going to do next is going to make this world a better place. So you are creating something that not only regenerates what has been destroyed, but you are also encouraging everyone around you to do things in a better way so that future generations can thrive, even if you might not be able to see the whole your product or the fruits of what you're doing, see that thriving during your lifetime. But the only problem is that you don't know where to start or how to move forward. And this is something I see happen so often with many social entrepreneurs who reach out to me and who want to create that boutique hotel or that wellness retreat with a very strong well-being focus. And what I wanted to say before I delve deeper into today's session is that if you are feeling slightly overwhelmed or lost, don't know how to start or where to even start, I just want to say that that is incredibly normal because there is so much information out there. Wellness, well being, sustainability, conscious travel, regenerative tourism. There are so many terms out there. There's so many new things happening in this landscape, and many of them are incredibly well intentioned because we all want to leave the world a better place. Because clearly, what we're doing right now is not sustainable in the long term. So, I just wanted to let you know before we even delve in that if those feeling of overwhelmed and kind of frustration and confusion are incredibly normal. And on top of that, if you add the financial strain to that, that makes things even more entertaining per se. So you when we're working on a legacy project that I call what you do a legacy compared to trophy projects, I have found that the incubation period, when I talk about incubation period, I'm talking about the return on your investment in these legacy projects tends to be far longer than in what we would call a traditional kind of hospitality product, that typical trophy product. Now, nothing is so black and white, but in general, I have noticed that legacy oriented projects have a very long incubation period and they follow kind of the exponential growth model, the exponential growth curve model, where you take a while to actually break even and then you suddenly grow exponentially. Now, for you, I have created what I call the Wellness in Hospitality Spotlight. So, what is the Wellness in Hospitality Spotlight and what benefit is there for you? The Wellness in Hospitality Spotlight is a 2-day virtual event where I get together key speakers. So, in this year's event, I have 12 speakers, each of them a key player in the hospitality industry, using wellness in very unique and authentic ways in order to make the impact they want. And when I use the term key, it does not mean big. It doesn't mean multi-billion dollars, and it doesn't mean hugely renowned. It means people who could even on a very small scale have a project, but what they're doing has an immense impact, not only on the local community and environment, but they're creating something that is going to have an impact for many generations to come. And with this spotlight, I want to take those social entrepreneurs on the journey of understanding, where do I start? What do I need to consider? And what are other people doing? What successes are they having? And what challenges do they have? And what are they doing to actually overcome those challenges? So this is exactly what I've done in the spotlight. I have split those 12 speakers in 2 days. And in day one, the focus is predominantly on the meat and potatoes of what you need to do, what you need to consider in order to create a boutique hotel offering, or that small hospitality product with a very strong wellness focus. What are the things you need to consider? What are the important steps? And these 6 speakers have been strategically chosen so that after you listen to each one of them, so it's like a layered effect, we're piling up all that knowledge. By the end of day one, you'll have a very clear idea of what is needed and what you need to consider. And that will give you a very good starting point for your boutique hotel project with that strong wellness focus. Then, what I do in day 2 is the next lineup of speakers are people who have successfully done wellness in very unconventional ways and had huge success. And I've always found it incredibly inspiring to hear how other people who've not chosen the conventional path, how they have had success. And equally important is, what challenges have they faced and what have they done to overcome those challenges. So the idea here is that in day one, you get your strong base. You know exactly what you need to consider, where you need to put your focus. And then in day 2, you hear what others have done, what has worked for them, what hasn't. And that will help you actually avoid mistakes that they have made that you don't necessarily need to make. You'd make your own set of mistakes, because those definitely will happen, but you'll also have your own success story. So I'd like to start off with just giving a glimpse on how day 1 looks and day 2. So you know what journey you're going on, and if this is the right event for you. So what I've done in day 1, we're kicking off the event with Chalana Pereira. So he's a young, fantastic, dynamic, and true steward of his place. Chalana is based in Sri Lanka, and he will talk about how to cultivate conscious travelers and how to encourage destination stewardship. So, as I was mentioning earlier on, regenerative tourism has become another buzzword like wellness. And with Chalana's talk, we'd like to shed the spotlight on what exactly is involved in being a true steward of your destination. And once we have looked at what it looks like to be a true steward of your destination, the next step, we're going to have Fiona Richmond talking about culinary tourism strategies. Wellness and food and beverage have always gone hand in hand, because food and beverages have always been an integral and important part of wellness. We are essentially what we eat. And what Fiona does is she sheds a light on the strategy she used to position her destination for culinary tourism and how that affects the entire production and supply ecosystem when it comes to food, when it comes to tourism, and also when it comes to wellness. And once we've gone into that key aspect of food, that culinary tourism coming to you, We then delve into the difficult design part of wellness areas in hospitality. As an owner, you want to make sure that you have designers who understand how to translate your vision into the built form, which isn't always easy to achieve. So we couldn't have anyone better than Konstantina Tsutsuku to guide you in this journey. And once we're clear with the built form and the things to consider when you want to get the right designer on board for your projects, what materials to use, equally important is the ability to communicate your vision, your values, and what your purpose is, both to your teams and to your guests. And the next guest, Yasemin Oruk, gives you practical strategies that you can implement right away in order to effectively communicate your vision. One thing I have seen happen time and again, social entrepreneurs have fantastic visions and purposes, but sometimes they struggle to communicate what they're doing and the impact they're having and how that affects people's lives in a coherent and easily digestible way. So Yasmin's session will actually give you those practical and highly actionable insights. Then we move into the future focus with what is happening with hospitality and technology. And now we're not talking about robots coming in and replacing the human touch that you want to specifically add into your property. Instead, we are talking about how you can use technology to your favor, to set your teams up for success, to make your operations more streamlined and efficient, and to deliver your guests superlative wellness experiences and to help drive your top and bottom lines. And lastly, on the first day, we talk about the different types of well-being and the impact these types of well-being have both on your guests and also your employee experience. And this is both at a macro and micro level, because the more well your individual property is, the more well your destination, your environment, and your local community will be. And Dr. Valentina Clerc sheds an interesting research-based evidence on how you can thread well-being into all aspects of your customer and employee journey. So that is what we will be covering in day one of the Wellness in Hospitality Spotlight. Then what we do in day two is we get into the nitty gritty of wanting to set up your wellness-oriented hospitality project. So in this second part, we get real life experiences firsthand from social entrepreneurs who have walked or are walking the path you want to. So you can draw inspiration from their success stories, and you can also learn from their mistakes. So you don't need to make the same ones. And on the second day, we'll kick off with Chris Nadar's experience with the Envy Lodges, the ups and downs they had to their road to success. We'll also learn about Eva and Nikolai's experience from moving from the city to living to the countryside, the challenges they had in their romantic journey, and how they navigated these challenges to big success, as well as reconciling work-life balance of a husband and wife team. And there is no doubt that the reward is unparalleled. But the journey does come with its fair share of challenges. And I think you'll find Eva and Nikolai's and also Chris Nader's experiences incredibly inspiring. We then talk about female leadership in hospitality and why it is more challenging to strike that balance in mainstream brands. you, as a boutique independent hotel owner, can have far more impact in changing how we set up our hospitality businesses. And Emily Goldfisher brings up interesting points for you to consider. And I'd also like to say on that point where we have specifically chosen the example of female leadership in hospitality, but what is clear is that the current setup of how we are treating our people will not help our industry going forward. And having that diversity in our workforce, becoming a more inclusive culture, will only help our industry move forward. And as a boutique hotel owner, you have far more flexibility to do things right and to actually have a more rewarding and a more diverse and a more skilled workforce than the bigger mainstream brands that find it more difficult or challenging to change the way they've always done things. And after looking at how you can get more diversity and inclusion in your workforce, we continue with David Araya, who shares interesting experiences on how you can humanize the entire employee well-being experience. Because if we don't have a team that is well, we're very unlikely to have the impact we want. And one thing that many boutique hotel owners tend to ask me about is what kind of wellness leader do they need to have? They know they need a GM to have a very strong wellness focus, but who should look after their wellness operation? Rocco Bova sheds an interesting light on that subject, which will help you see how you can have the right people in the right seats. And lastly, tying a neat bow to the 2-day event, we have the $1,000,000 question. Who should be the captain of your ship? Who do you want at the helm of it? Someone with a hospitality background, someone with a food and beverage background, or someone with a wellness background? Lucia Cunha shares her experience from spa director to hotel general manager of a boutique hotel, which has enjoyed superlative guest reviews because of her wellness-oriented management style. So I just wanted to give this brief glimpse on the spotlight. In day one, you will learn the nitty-gritty of what it takes to implement or what you need to consider in terms of wellness if you want to build your boutique offering, your hospitality product with a very strong wellness focus. And then in day two, I show you real life examples of what some key players are doing and the success they're having and also the challenges they're having. And I talk about the key, which is people. How can you do things differently in the hospitality industry? And ultimately, who do you need to have as the captain of your ship? What do you want them to look like? What skills do you want them to have? And how will they translate and implement your vision? So that is what you will get in the 2-day event. As I mentioned, this Wellness and Hospitality Spotlight will go live on the 11th and 12th of July. So Thursday 11th and Friday 12th of July, the event goes live. And what I'll be doing is we will be putting, sorry, I'm just going to drink some water, or rather some tea. So as I was mentioning, so on Thursday 11th of July, the event goes live. The first set of videos, the first set of recordings will be going live systematically. And then in day two, we share the second set of speakers on the days of the event. So on the day of the 11th, all the video recordings will be available for free for everyone to watch. And then at the end of the day, we will be putting down those videos. And in day two, we will put up the videos for the second day. And then what we will do is once the live event has finished, I will have all the recordings hosted in a place so that you can purchase and rewatch the event at your own time. Pause, play, start again, take notes. So you'll be able to have access to that spotlight and all the speakers, all the insights throughout, from after the event onwards. And I also wanted to give a very special thanks to Hilary Rand. It's not only been me. Hilary has been key in helping me co-host the event, in helping me find these beautiful people who are doing amazing work in the industry. So a special thanks to Hilary, because this event wouldn't have been possible without all the key insights she has also provided, especially on the food and beverage side. So looking forward to connecting with you all during the event. I will be sharing a link to register in the comments section later on. Wishing you all a beautiful day ahead. Take care now.